5 News at noon starts now.
Well, right now at noon, Game and Fish say DNA shows the bear that they put down for testing wasn't the one that killed a man in Arkansas. Of the latest on the hunt to find the animal. Plus, President Trump halts trade talks with Canada over a controversial ad. What this can mean for tariffs and U.S. trade. But first, thank you so much for joining us here on your 5 News at noon. I'm Tiffany Lee alongside meteorologist Noah Simmons, where I think a lot of people are counting on a good forecast this weekend. We've got football Friday nights. We've got the big game tomorrow. So what's it looking like for us?
They are. I know we got a lot of outdoor activities, even like pumpkin patches or corn mazes for late October. We're going to have to dodge a little bit of that rain out there, but I do think we're going to get some dry time here a little bit on Saturday as well. We're going to take a look at that latest futurecast here in several minutes. But taking a look at outside, we've got a lot more cloud cover, obviously, out here this Friday afternoon compared to what we saw yesterday. You'll also notice it's a lot cooler as well, thanks to that cloud cover and that rain that kind of moved through the region in the morning. 58 in Fayetteville, 60 degrees in Ozark, and those temperatures aren't really going to be warming up a whole lot. We're only going to be making it up into those lower 60s. Some areas might not even make it out of the 50s for this afternoon. We're going to be sticking with those upper 50s, 60s for the next few hours, and we'll be tracking some more of those showers and thunderstorms throughout the rest of these afternoon hours. Now, here's that game day forecast. Kickoff is at 11:45 a.m. Looks like temperatures are fairly comfortable for late October standards. It's that rain that we're going to have to dodge. And the latest futurecast is actually starting to back up on that next wave of rain that's supposed to move through Saturday. I'll have a latest look on that timing and what we can expect for the rest of this weekend, including your Saturday and Sunday.
All right, thanks for that, Noah. Well, there is a new push to solve the case of a teen murder in Little Rock. Evie Stepik was last seen on October 24th, 2015, and her body was found nearly 3 years later at a Little Rock park. She went missing 10 years ago, and her mother says that she feels a new sense of encouragement. On Thursday, the family launched a social media campaign to raise awareness. Since the Arkansas Attorney General's office jumped on board the investigation, Stepik's mother, Lori Jernigan, says it's given her renewed hope.
10 years, I'm still trudging that road of trying to get things solved.
Yeah.
And they're receptive to it. So I look forward to what's going to happen.
The campaign can be found on social media platforms titled Justice for Evie Jane. Arkansas State Police are investigating a deadly crash that they say happened after a trooper did a pit maneuver to end a chase. Investigators say 49-year-old Andrea Thompson was driving recklessly on I-49 near Atkins and nearly hit 2 other drivers while speeding away from an ASP trooper. The trooper performed a tactical vehicle intervention, throwing Thompson from the vehicle. ASP's Criminal Investigation Division is looking into the crash. Well, the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission say that the bear killed shortly after a mauling in Newton County did not match the one involved in the attack. 6-year-old Max Thomas from Missouri was found dead on October 2nd. Investigators say that his body had been dragged from his campsite. Game and Fish are investigating if the bear involved in the attack has similarities to the one that killed a Franklin County man in September.
The initial attack, the bear had some lesions on its brain. It was malnourished, but yet its stomach was full. So that's a little bit of, there's something wrong there.
Game and Fish reminds campers to store all food in bear-resistant containers and report any aggressive or unafraid bears to authorities. Well, tonight, while rain might dampen your football plans, basketball will be in full swing at Bud Walton Arena. Tonight's game against Cincinnati is the CareSource Invitational. It's the second year it's been hosted by the Razorbacks. The game's proceeds go towards mental health organizations like Jay's Light, the Western Arkansas Counseling and Guidance, and Arissa Health. The exhibition games began in 2023 at the University of Daytona after the head coach's daughter, Jay, committed suicide in 2022. Now, 2 years later, CareSource VP Scott Markovich says that the message has stayed the same.
If we break an arm or break a leg, we're not feeling well, we go to the doctor, we go to the hospital. But for mental health, right, there's still this stigma that exists that if you're not feeling well or you're not feeling yourself, you don't tell anybody, you don't talk to anybody, you try to manage it on your own. And so what we're really trying to get out there is the message that it's okay to not be okay.
Well, now, even though it is an exhibition game, it's still very competitive. The last time Arkansas faced Cincinnati was in 2021, and they won. But in the last 5 meetings, it was the only one time that they've won. Well, we do want to remind you, today is the last day of the 5 News annual Give Where You Live food drive. You can drop off non-perishable food items at any Harps food store in the River Valley or Northwest Arkansas. You can also pick up a prepackaged donation bag with 3 different price options. We hope that you join us in helping fight hunger ahead of the holidays. Well, new details are emerging in 2 NBA betting scandals involving Portland Trail Blazers coach Chauncey Billups and Miami Heat player Terry Rozier. Authorities say the cases include rigged poker games, illegal sports betting, and ties to the mafia. Federal investigators have arrested 34 people, including NBA players and organized crime members. One case involves a rigged poker operation. The other focuses on Rozier, who prosecutors say tipped off bettors about limiting his playing time in a March 2023 game, which generated tens of thousands in illegal profits. Former player Damon Jones is also implicated for allegedly revealing LeBron James' absence from a February game. The NBA says that it's cooperating with authorities. Billups and Rozier have been placed on leave, and investigators expect more names and evidence to surface. Well, President Trump says that he's terminating trade talks with Canada over an anti-tariff ad paid for by the province of Ontario. The ad used clips from an address by the late President Ronald Reagan, which the Ronald Reagan Presidential Foundation called misrepresentative. Natalie Brand has more.
They're actually on television taking ads.
Days after calling out Canada over a new ad about tariffs, President Trump upped the ante Friday morning, posting, "Canada cheated and got caught."
The way to prosperity for all nations is rejecting protectionist legislation and promoting fair and free competition. America's jobs and growth are at stake.
In response to the ad paid for by the province of Ontario, President Trump announced late Thursday that all trade negotiations with Canada are terminated.
I think the frustration has built up over time. I've been involved in some of these negotiations, and the Canadians have been very difficult to negotiate with.
Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, who earlier this week announced a goal of doubling non-U.S. exports citing American tariffs, responded Friday.
We can't control the trade policy of the United States. We recognize that policy has fundamentally changed.
But he kept the door open to negotiations on specific sectors, including steel, aluminum, and energy.
We stand ready to pick up on that progress and build on that progress when the Americans are ready to have those discussions.
Both leaders are heading to Asia for key economic summits, where President Trump is also planning on meeting with Chinese President Xi amid ongoing trade tensions between the world's 2 largest economies.
We have some big issues, like with the farmers and various other things.
President Trump threatened an additional 100% tariff on goods from China in response to Chinese export controls on rare earth minerals, setting a deadline of November 1st. Natalie Brin, CBS News, the White House.
Well, in response to the backlash, Doug Ford, the Premier of Ontario, who paid for the ad, tweeted this morning that Canada and the U.S. are friends, neighbors, and allies. President Ronald Reagan knew that we were stronger together. Well, shots fired overnight during a protest in California over President Trump's immigration policies. Officers opened fire on a U-Haul truck backing towards them. This happened overnight outside of a Coast Guard base near Oakland. Officers opened fire on that U-Haul truck as it backed towards them. The video shows the truck stopping briefly before driving away. Witnesses say at least 2 people were struck, and the driver's whereabouts remain unknown. The base was set to stage 100 federal agents deployed to enforce immigration policies. Similar confrontations have happened in other cities, including Chicago earlier this month. Clashes in Chicago were cited to justify deploying National Guard troops, though a federal judge temporarily blocked that move. Officials say no federal agents have been disciplined for the incident so far.